everyone. We plan to tell you the story of William Shockley, his volatile leadership, and the surprising path of the Traitorous Eight, who are collectively responsible for creating Silicon Valley and transforming the U.S. electronics industry. The Traitorous Eight were a group of very talented scientists hired by Shockley, but quickly driven away by his competitive and suspicious nature. After leaving Shockley, the group found refuge and support from exemplary leaders Arthur Rock and Robert Noyce. Together, they founded Fairchild Semiconductor, which became a springboard for dozens of corporations, including Intel and AMD. Let's take a closer look at the legends of Silicon Valley. William Shockley was the original bad boss. His legacy is marred with controversy. The influence of Shockley's personality on leading the most creative team in the world for developing and producing transistors led the team to feel underappreciated, under suspicion, which ultimately led to their collectively terminating their employment under him. He designed a highly qualified team that communicated well, collaborated, and worked toward a common goal. Even though all of this was not because of him and did not include him. He was competitive, arrogant, and sought all the credit. He created a culture of us against him. He failed to see himself as the cause for the Traitorous Eight to defect.
Shockley's charismatic charm was starting to wear thin. To get a better idea of what made such a brilliant mind such a terrible leader is to analyze his quirks. Although he may have viewed himself as near perfection, he was indeed very flawed. To give you an idea, he took his physical presence very seriously. Shockley kept scrupulous notes on his personal fitness, so much so that he was a self-proclaimed bodybuilder. Some also speculate that this focus on both physical and mental prowess is what later inspired his unpopular aggression from the spotlight and into the controversial theories supporting human eugenics. Shockley was a man with tremendous discipline, and the same discipline was demanded by his entire team. In spite of first impressions, he was viewed as somewhat of a troll, playing regular and often mean practical jokes. Even in 1957, he manipulated the media and framed every situation to shine a favorable light on himself. Something as simple as the name, the Traitorous Eight, was devised by Shockley to shine with the public a vivid picture of what was going on in his mind and how these men wronged him. Shockley's horrid shortcomings as a directive and micromanaging leader stifled production and completely extinguished innovation. The amplifying and switching properties of Shockley's semiconductors were not the only thing in his lab that were amped up and thinking about switching, as Phil will explain.
As Joy and David mentioned, the team was highly motivated, so we posed the question of why things went so badly for them under Shockley. I believe it comes down to trust, which is why I chose a picture of a polygraph for this slide and identified the downward spiral of distrust. There are many specific examples, but the moment when your boss insists that you need to take a lie detector test is emblematic of an adversarial relationship. The implication is that moving your family cross-country to join the team isn't a sufficient show of loyalty. That moment is likely to make an employee question whether a leader cares for or values the contributions of that employee, particularly when that employee is already a highly motivated industry expert. Instead, Shockley could have begun from a position of trust. From that initial decision, he could have engaged the team collaboratively and amplified the best urges of an already strong team.
Despite the promise that the team William Shockley put together showed, progress was stalled, and his employees were disenchanted with their leader. Very quickly, the wheels were in motion for a select core of his researchers and scientists to leave and form their own venture. In stark contrast to what Shockley exhibited, the young men showed camaraderie and dedication to their goal. Together, they teamed up with Arthur Rock, who helped them transform their group with a cohesive purpose and set up a meeting with Sherman Fairchild, a meeting that would change the landscape of the industry.
Under Arthur Rock's guidance, the Traitorous Eight obtained financial backing and founded Fairchild Semiconductors. Rock provided an advisory role on the board of directors while Robert Noyce, one of the eight, led the company. Although Rock and Noyce each had different personal traits and approaches, they both employed a participative, development-driven leadership style. While Rock focused on helping people grow, Noyce promoted autonomy as well as a supportive, constructive environment. To foster innovation, both Rock and Noyce practiced cultural leadership, a stark contrast to Shockley's approach, by encouraging the sharing of ideas to increase understanding of the path forward. The accomplishments of the Traitorous 8 at Fairchild Semiconductors, under leadership by Rock and Noyce, was central to the growth of Silicon Valley and the semiconductor industry. After Fairchild, Rock, Noyce, and each of the other Traitorous 8 team members went on to lead and invest in other companies. It is truly a testament to William Shockley's skill for team design that the Traitorous 8 worked so well together at Fairchild. However, it was the masterful coaching from Rock and Noyce that passed on a culture of supportive, participative leadership, thereby contributing to continued success for all.